All right, we are going live right now on YouTube. I am sharing this everywhere. Welcome to everybody who's watched this, probably on recording right now. But I hope all is well. I hope you are all having a great day. And we are going to dive into the world of CoreCon today because, hey, cable TV is crazy expensive. And guess what? We've confirmed so far this week that Comcast is raising the price, Charter's raising, or Cox is raising the price, and just a little while ago, I received the new pricing details for Charter's price increase, and it's going up again. So I'll have full details on that tomorrow, but right now, it is never a bad time to remember that if you're not a core card now, maybe it's time to do that, because otherwise you're going to be spending $300 plus for every 2 years you have a DVR with Charter now. So let's dive into that. If you have questions, let me know. I will do my best to answer them. And I'm going to finish quickly sharing this across all of our social media platforms so everybody can join us and ask questions and hopefully get some help with their breaking free from the high cost of cable TV. So one last place to do this, and I am on my way. All right, Duff, Tom, cool. It's good to see you all here. Great to see you from California. Tom, are you anywhere near all the fires? I hope you're being safe over there. All right, let me switch over to my admin view on the live stream and we can get this show underway. All right, there we go. It's been kind of a crazy few days, lots of news. T-Mobile is going to jump into the TV market, and they haven't really given a lot of information on it. And they're buying Layer 3, which kind of calls itself a core kind service. It's not so much of a core kind service. I've never been a big fan of it as a core kind service. So it'll be interesting to see what T-Mobile does with Layer 3. Sling TV added Hallmark drama to their lineup with the lifestyle. The Air TV 2, we received some additional details thanks to AFTV News. They found a listing on Amazon's App Store that talked about the Air TV 2 and the ability of it to stream your antenna up to all internet connected devices pretty much to have a Sling TV app. And even if you're not paying for Sling TV, you'll be able to watch your antenna around the world with Sling TV or have it integrated right into your Sling TV app. So connect your Air TV and on your Roku, watch your antenna through your Air TV. So it's a pretty cool little service there. But of course, we're also here to answer your core card related questions, tips, tricks, how-tos, whatever we can do here to help you get the most out of your cord cutting experience. All right, I've shared it everywhere. Now I can focus on you and we can get started on the world of cord cutting. Richard, you saw a Star Wars app, very appropriate. All right, Tom, I'm happy to hear you're okay. Sorry to see it's so smoky over there. Scott, Air TV 2 is what we're calling that device right now from Sling TV. Air TV 1 was the device. We know it looks pretty much the same as the Air TV 1. White is being swapped out for black. So we're just calling it the Air TV 2 until we get a new name from Sling if there is a different one. Colin, I'm not sure what you missed, but you haven't missed anything because we really haven't talked about much yet. Yeah, Pluto TV added a bunch of seasonal channels. I'm glad to see them continue to roll out more support and devices out there. One other thing, as you probably noticed, I got a ton of boxes back here. Moving day. Core Cars News is moving into our new offices soon. So I can't wait to get everything moved in and give you all a tour of our new Core Carding HQ. Bigger, better. You should see the review live at this place. It's going to be pretty epic. So, all right, but if you have a question, this is how it works. If you're watching this on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, wherever, there's only one spot where we're answering questions, and that's on our YouTube feed. So ask the question on the YouTube video that I've shared across all of our social media, and I'll be looking for it there. If you ask it on Facebook or Twitter, I probably won't see it because we're answering questions on YouTube. What do you recommend for the overall best box that's out there? Well, I don't really think there's one best box. The easiest to use box has to be the Roku. My 4-year-old daughter can use a Roku. My parents can use a Roku without calling me to ask for help with it. There's the Fire TV. It's very good, especially if you spend most of your time in the Amazon App Store. If you use iTunes, really the only device that you can really justify having with iTunes right now is the Apple TV. So there's really no one device I can say is best. NVIDIA Shield is a very good device, especially if you use a lot of Google products. So keep that in mind. There's a lot out there that are you're able to pick from. So I would get whatever you think is the best fit for you. If you're currently comfortable with the Apple TV, get the Apple TV. If you use a Roku now, I would stay with the Roku. Tim asks, what are the 34 other places YouTube TV was releasing this week? You know, Tim, I didn't memorize all the markets, but if you go to corecardersnews.com, I have a link to it in the show notes on YouTube. Go over there, click on, if you scroll back 1 or 2 pages, you'll find a story that lists every market that YouTube TV rolled out in this week. Yes, DirecTV Now did just send out tonight. A few minutes ago, I got an email too, inviting a bunch of people to the DirecTV Now beta. So check your email. When do I think DirecTV Now subscribers will have access to Discovery Go app? I don't know. I really don't. They really haven't said anything about it. Cool Willie, I don't quite fully understand your question. Could you give a little bit more details? You talking about gigabytes matter for what? What are you talking about? All right, keep the questions. Anywhere and if Amazon will release a new Fire TV box. There is another device that has been leaked and has not been announced. Rumor is that it's probably not going to happen in 2018 now. It looks like an Echo Dot and a Fire TV had a baby. It looks like those two devices got merged into one. It's an Echo. It's a Fire TV. It's an Echo Fire. We'll call it the Echo Fire. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. But there is something coming from Amazon. And it's rumored to be more powerful than the Fire TV 3 that's on the market. I know a lot of people are like, well, it's not really the Fire TV 3. It's more like a Fire Stick. Well, Amazon calls it the Fire TV 3, so we're going to call it the Fire TV 3. I want a wireless mini keyboard that works for playing retro games on my Amazon Fire TV. If you want a keyboard that does that, the Re products, the Re i8 Plus isn't bad. But I mean, I would buy a gamepad out there and keep them and use that. There's a ton of gamepads for the Fire TV that allow you to play games. Movie fan, you are right. The Red Box beta streaming service rolled out on the Roku a little while ago. I haven't had time to write a story about it. I do have a story that will go live tomorrow morning with details. It's a movie rental service, a streaming. There's really not a lot to say about it. It doesn't do anything new original, but you can rent your movies from Redbox and stream them if that's what you so choose. No Disney movies, though. Luke, have you heard of DirecTV Now is going to add more locals? I assume that they will add more locals. DirecTV Now has been adding locals almost weekly recently. So I would expect by this time next year, most of them will be out there with locals at this time. Any news on new NVIDIA Shield? None at this time. I will be at CES next month in January. And if they have anything, I will have full coverage of it. What do you think of net neutrality? How will it affect cord cutting? I don't think it's going to affect cord cutting the way people are. Here's my reality for net neutrality. Tomorrow is the vote for net neutrality. The doom and gloomers will say the world's going to come to an end. Other people will say there's really nothing to fear with net neutrality. The reality is probably somewhere in the middle. As with all things, the reality, the truth of what's happening lies somewhere in the middle between the two sides of the argument. So if I could say one thing to everybody out there with net neutrality is take a deep breath. It's going to happen. Net neutrality is going to die. I've said that for a long time ago. It's just going to be what it is. But it's not going to be the disaster everybody says it's going to be. So that's my recommendation. Cord cutting existed before net neutrality. Cord cutting will exist after net neutrality. I promise you that. Well, we'll take this one day at a time, and I'll be watching it closely. Do I think most Blu-rays going forward have codes for Movie Anywhere app? Maybe. I mean, I don't see why not, but I don't see, no one's really said anything. Xavier, blocking DirecTV Now blocking NFL games from Chromecast that come from your mobile. That's, you may think that that should be that way, but the truth is that the current rules and laws and like the deal, let me say this. The deal that DirecTV Now and everybody else signed says that Verizon has exclusive streaming rights on mobile. And that includes Chromecast and all that. That deal existed before DirecTV Now existed. It's just the way it is. Now in January, that deal ends. And you'll be able to stream it even if you're not a Verizon through the Verizon app. Now I have talked to several live TV streaming services. And I've asked them, with this new contract, will you be able to stream NFL games through DirecTV Now on your phone on a mobile network? And no one has been able to say yes. They've all said, we're looking into it. And from my understanding, they're all kind of going to their contracts and talking to the NFL like, hey, do our current contracts allow us to stream NFL games with this new deal with Verizon, or do we have to strike a new deal? I know a lot of people out there saying, hey, oh yeah, you're going to be able to do it with DirecTV Now starting in January because the Verizon contract has a new whatever. Verizon and, excuse me, Verizon, a bunch of live TV streaming services, NFL, have all declined to confirm that to me when I pressed them. And when I've talked to multiple live TV streaming services, they've all been saying we're looking into it. So keep that in mind. Here's a great question from Don. How are we going to know when my local TV station switches over to the new 3.0 over-the-air TV standard? 1 second. Let me. Sorry about that. I'm back. So how will you know when the 3.0 happens? Well, your current TV will just stop working with the over-the-air TV signals. You'll probably have to rescan, find a different one. And the TV company will probably be telling you, like, hey, 3.0 coming. I wouldn't worry about that. Going forward in the future, you're probably not going to be able to see that for a few weeks or a few more months. At the earliest, Phoenix looks like the first market to do it. They're probably talking late spring, summer of 2018. So I wouldn't worry about it. People are saying my live stream is lagging. Can you explain what you mean by that? Live NFL games on my phone with the Tableau DVR. Yeah, that's one thing. You can use your Tableau DVR to do that. Or maybe the new Sling TV app with their new Air TV. We'll have to wait and see. Have you tried or heard of about Philo TV? Yes, I have done a full review of Philo TV. If you'd like to learn more about Philo, you're on our YouTube page, click on our videos, search for Philo, and you'll find a great hands-on review of it. Yeah, I mean, it's a great option if you don't want sports and you don't want to lose. There's BBC World News and Cheddar, but there's no like Fox, CNN, MSNBC, etc. There's also no sports. So Philo is really meant for a very specific kind of person who doesn't want sports and doesn't want a lot of news. So I think that will hamper it. It's also missing a lot of channels. There's no Disney channels, so no Disney Junior. There's no Fox channels. And I think that would be a issue there, I think, for some people, just to be honest. But for the segment of people who don't want the Disney, don't want news, don't want all that, it may work. I'm kind of surprised they didn't strike a deal for either Weather Nation or the Weather Channel, etc. I think adding a Weather Channel to that would probably be a good fit. I think there would be some synergy, we'll call it, between the service and the weather kind of services out there. So we'll have to wait and see. When is VidGo coming out? We don't know. Who knows? VidGo is still out there, still a company, and they still have a website. And they still say they're working on it. So we had a kind of a press release a while back saying they struck a deal with VidGo. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. DirecTV Now app for the Fire TV. Could happen. Nothing has been said about it. What is the timetable for the launch of CBS sports streaming service? So CBS is launching a free streaming service about sports. Won't carry live sports. It'll be a highlight, like a 24-hour highlight and clip show there. They say 2018. We'll wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Late 2018 is what I'm kind of hearing. Luke, what do you think of the T-Mobile plans for a live TV streaming service? Couple things. We know it's a live TV service, but back off on the idea of streaming, at least for now. Layer 3 is not what when you think of Sling TV, that's not really what Layer 3 is. It's very specific to specific markets. T-Mobile has a big uphill road to get new contracts if they want to be a more of a Sling TV type service. Buying Layer 3 gives them a lot of the technology, gives them a few markets, but it doesn't give them coast-to-coast coverage. So there's a lot of work to do there. T-Mobile is an interesting company. Their CEO is sure an interesting guy. You know, they have been very disruptive in the wireless realm. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the TV realm. But I think they really haven't said, here's my thing. T-Mobile hasn't said anything, really, other than that they're doing it. So take everything with a grain of salt. How many times have we heard companies promise the world with TV and then find out that the content owners won't sign contracts? Look at Apple. Apple was, according to all reports, bound and determined to do a la carte and all kinds of stuff. They realized they couldn't get the contracts. Amazon was bound and determined to disrupt TV. Cable companies told them, go pound sand, we're not giving you our channels. So if Apple and Amazon were unable to disrupt the market after trying, I'll be interested to see what T-Mobile can do. I hope they're successful, but at the same time, I just want to keep people realistic here. It could be a while. Scott says, I'm going to try out Sling TV for a week and then try out DirecTV Now. That's not a bad idea. I always recommend not trying out multiple live TV streaming services at once. I think a lot of people get into trouble because they try to all at once stream live TV, like DirecTV Now, Sling, Hulu, all at once, and then compare them. Doing them 1 week at a time, A, stretches out your free trial, B, gives you a better understanding of each, because otherwise you're going to not give each one a fair deal. Colin says, Luke, do you think the Disney and Fox deal will be announced tomorrow? So for anybody who doesn't know, Disney is reportedly buying Fox. Most of Fox include the regional sports networks, the 21st Century Fox, FX channel, Nat Geo, the 30% that Fox owns of Hulu, and more. The deal, according to CNBC, is reportedly going to launch or be announced tomorrow. It'll be $60 billion plus. What do I think of it? It makes sense on both sides. For Disney, it makes sense that with cord cutting, how do you fight it? Well, you control a bigger piece of the pie. For Fox, they're saying, well, what is the most cord cutting resistant aspect of the market? News and sports. So Fox is saying, hey, and broadcast TV. So Fox is saying we're going to be more focused on news, sports, and broadcast TV. The three areas we find to be the most resistant, we'll say, to cord cutting. So on both sides, it seems to be interesting. For Disney, that'll give them 60% ownership of Hulu, which Disney's been saying they want a more Disney-focused streaming service. Well, maybe they rebrand Hulu into that service. It'll be interesting. This will be the first time Hulu has a single owner with a majority control of it. So we'll wait and see. That will leave Hulu, Comcast at 30%, and Time Warner at 10%. So out there for Hulu ownership with Disney controlling 60%. It'll be interesting. Is it good or bad? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for cord cutters. We'll have to wait and see. How does Dish antenna install work and how much does it cost? So yes, so if you want antenna, Dish will do it, but you can't call Dish's main number. You have to call AirTV. If you go to airtv.net, at the top there is a button that says antenna install. They'll come to your home and install antenna. I've had it done. $150, they'll come bring an antenna. So for $150, you'll get an antenna. They'll mount it on the roof of your home or an attic for that price and wire it down into your living room or wherever. And they did a really good job. Good antenna, good installation, good customer service, very happy. For $100, they'll come install an indoor antenna, which I don't recommend that. I think most people can do an indoor antenna on their own, but if you are for whatever reason unable to do it, it's not a bad deal. But for the attic and roof antenna for $150 to include the antenna that's typically costs $100, basically they're saying for $50 we'll climb on your roof, professionally install an antenna, and set you all up. So that's really not a bad deal if you think about it, because for $150 or $50 for the install part, you know, not to be climbing on my roof and to get a professionally installed antenna is a good deal. Craig, I've heard people say it, but according to Dish, in the lower 48, they will install it across the United States. Deborah, I would defer to whoever Dish told you. There is additional cost. For instance, if you want it wired to additional rooms, I think it's $50 for every additional room you want the antenna split off into, and so on. But last time I checked on their website, it was $150 for a roof install. Also, Deborah, again, a lot of people are getting in trouble because they're calling the Dish themselves and then asking them for the install. While even Dish techs do it, the Dish phone number is not who you call. You need to go to airtv.net, and then you need to click on the AirTV antenna install button, call the phone number on that page. Or if you looked at the Cord Cutters News review of it, I've linked to that page with the phone number on it there. You must only call that one number. If you call Dish on their Dish main number, they're going to try to sell you satellite because that's what they do. You need to call AirTV through that number on the antenna install page. A lot of people have been getting in trouble because they say, oh, you know, Dish says it's not available, or they try to sell me a satellite service. And that is where your problem is coming because you're calling the wrong phone number. How many hours in the DirecTV Now DVR beta? Some people say 100. More recent customers are saying 20. What it will actually be when it comes out, we'll wait and see. John says, what's the best DVR for cord cutters? I recommend 3 brands, Channel Master, Tableau, and TiVo. TiVo is a little bit more. You're paying for the name TiVo, but it does offer a slightly more polished user interface. Tableau is a really great whole home DVR, so you can't connect. So basically, you connect your DVR to your Wi-Fi, and then you stream it to your all types of different players. It works well, but it doesn't offer you can't connect it directly to your TV. Channel Master is a more traditional DVR. There's no monthly fee for it, and it's a solid DVR. But it does lack the whole home DVR feature that the Tableau has. But they are working on a new device that's going to come out at CES. We put a story up on it a while back. So if you want to get a DVR and you want to get the Channel Master, you may want to wait because they already posted a tweet teasing a new device coming out. And we'll have to wait and see if that will be more in line with like a whole home system. We'll wait and see what it does, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, so Tableau, Channel Master, and TiVo are my cord cutter DVR recommendations. All right. What if you have your own antenna? Does it cost less? Duff, from my understanding, is Dish will only install their own antenna right now. It's probably, there's probably some parts of it that it comes down to they don't want to be liable for other equipment. I did ask about once, and they basically said no. You could maybe ask them once they come and do the install, but there's going to be no discount. But in all reality, $150 to get the antenna installed with your antenna there is not a bad deal. Will Sling add sci-fi channel? They could. I mean, Sling doesn't typically pre-announce channels coming to the service, so keep that in mind. All right, keep the questions coming. I'll do my best to answer them. As always, though, hey, do me a few favors. If you are new here, tons of people here today. Every week, 8 p.m. Eastern, I do my best to answer your cord cutting related questions. Whether you just want to talk about cord cutting or you have a specific question about cord cutting to help you get the most from your cord cutting experience, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. Hit the subscribe button because every week we're doing how-to videos, guides, reviews, breaking news, all kinds of stuff. Visit us at cordcuttersnews.com. That's where the real action is. Every day we're posting 6 or 7 stories a day about the world of cord cutting. So helping you stay on top of the biggest cord cutting stories out there right now. So hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Check it out. I believe, I'll have to go back and check, we just topped 30,000 on our cord cutting tech support page on our group on Facebook. So if you are needing some help with cord cutting and you can't make the meeting, you can always go to cord cutting tech support. Just search for that on Facebook. For the group, you'll find a description that'll say, owned by Cord Cutters News LLC. Join the group. We got about 30,000 members there answering core coding questions 24/7. All right, Raymond, check back tomorrow. I'm gonna have a full breakdown on the Spectrum's price hike tomorrow, so check that out. Yes, Redbox has a new on-demand service. Check back tomorrow. I'll have a full breakdown of that too. Movie fan, I've already answered that a few times. I'm not sure if you missed it, but DirecTV Now's DVR beta. Early subscribers said 100 hours. More recent ones say 20. I wouldn't put anything into that. It could be that DirecTV Now in the beta wants to get more people in it to do that without having to spend a ton of money on servers. They're testing. They just lowered the thing. It could still maybe come out with 100. It could be 50. It could be 1,000. We don't know. For now, that's all we know. So keep that in mind. Xavier, Luke, do you know if a Fire TV stick can be powered by a portable power pack normally used to charge phones? Sure. I don't know. I can't say. Don't hold me liable if you fry your device. I wouldn't say that's the way I would recommend it. If you got a way to power your TV, I would try to power your Fire TV stick the same way. So just keep that in mind. Yes, Colin asks, when Dish installs an antenna, do they run tests to make sure the placement of the antenna to get the maximum number of channels? Yes, when Dish comes and installs the antenna, they will do a scan to make sure you have it. And it's a directional antenna they use. So when they came to my home, they set it up and they kind of aimed it and tweaked it, ran a test. Realized it wasn't getting all the channels. They moved it, ran a test again, moved it, ran a test again, and then they found all the channels. So yes, they do, before they leave, make sure you're getting all the channels you should get. They do run a test beforehand. And what they will tell you though is if they run a test and they see in your home you're not getting the channels, they will tell you we don't recommend your service because we can't guarantee you will get the channels. So keep that in mind. And again though, none of those tests are perfect because some, there's always terrain issues. It's all best case scenario. What antenna do I recommend for indoor? I recommend 3 brands: Mohu antennas, Turk antennas, Antennas Direct. Wineguard's not a bad one. They like that. I do though the Mohu, the new Ultra antenna line. I think that's probably the best flat antenna on the market right now. Luke, any idea when Roku will be updating the Sharp TV to 8.0? They say by the end of the year all Roku TVs will be updated to 8.0. So keep that in mind. Take it with a grain of salt. Could be within a day or two. All right, Luke, how much is Spectrum raising prices? Colin, I will have a full detail on that tomorrow for Spectrum. So, yes, check the site tomorrow, Colin. Does the Air TV with Sling have a grid guide? Yes, now there is a grid guide on Air TV. All right. John says he got a great deal from Spectrum today. 30 down, $14.95, no contract. Yeah, I mean, check around. I got a great deal from Spectrum too on my internet. I'm paying $29.99 for 100 down. So check it out. My Tableau seems to be taking a long time to load channels. Well, it's not going to be instantaneous, but if it's taking a long time, I would see if you have weak Wi-Fi. Weak Wi-Fi can cause that to happen. My Comcast business is $109 a month. Albert, you may be avoiding a data camp, but you may want to shop around for pricing because even with paying some extra data overage fees, depending on what you're using, you may find a better deal elsewhere. Or not. It's hard to say. Because I think it's $50 for unlimited with Comcast for a regular commercial. For instance, for me, I'm paying $39.99 for 100 down with Charter. If I would pay $50, it would still be cheaper than your business class. I know the 100 down with the $50 unlimited with Charter would also be cheaper than what they charge the same speed for business customers. Because remember, with business, you're not just paying for unlimited data. You're also paying for the priority customer service for business. So keep that in mind. because businesses don't want to be down. They pay for the ability that when they are down and they're losing money, Charter will prioritize them, and they do that because they pay an extra fee. All right. Why can you stream an antenna? R. Scott, I don't think I understand your question. You say, why can you stream an antenna through your Roku TV but not your Roku? I'm thinking you're asking, why can you connect an antenna to your Roku TV but not your Roku player? Because a Roku player doesn't have a port to plug your antenna in for a Roku player, but a Roku TV has a coaxial cord in the back to plug your antenna in. You can get devices like a Tablo DVR or a Clearstream TV to stream to your Roku. I think Clearstream TV has a Roku one, but Tablo does. And so will Sling TV soon. But you'll be able to stream it there, so keep that in mind. All right, am I going to do a demo of the Mohu Airwave? Yeah, that's on my list to do. Probably want to get into the new office here in a week or so. If you haven't noticed, we're boxing up. Wife's kicking me out. We got about 1,000 square feet of office, about 10 minutes on the road. Painters came yesterday, painted up the office. It looks beautiful. Some furniture should be delivered this week. Get that put together. The review lab, I got some equipment in. I got a couple more equipment for the new review lab. Once I get into the new office, I'll be doing a lot more reviews because I'll have a dedicated review space to do that. All right, keep the questions coming. I'll do my best to answer them. We're going to do a quick ad, though. Helps pay the bills. God, pay the bills. What's the difference between LTE, 4G, and 4G? Technically nothing. It's all branding and naming. Raymond, 4G is the standard, whether they call it LTE or whatever. Pretty much everybody calls 4G LTE now. It's just naming. But in theory, they should deliver the same speed. How about T-Mobile buying Layer 3 at this moment? Sounds cool. I really hope T-Mobile is successful. As I said earlier, though, T-Mobile hasn't really given any details. They've just bought Layer 3. They're starting the process. They will need new contracts because Layer 3 only has contracts for specific markets. They don't have a coast-to-coast contract. Apple and Amazon both tried to disrupt the TV market. They both failed. Apple and Amazon both try to get deals with companies, cable companies and content owners, etc., to stream their content in a disruptive way. The cable owners basically went out there and told them to pound sand. We're not working with you, Apple and Amazon. So Apple and Amazon have a lot more money than T-Mobile, a lot more clout. It'll be interesting to see what T-Mobile can pull off where Apple and Amazon failed. Colin, you keep asking what my ISP at the office is. I mean, why do you want to know? That'll be my question. Luke, what's your thoughts on AT&T testing high-speed internet over power lines? I think it's great. More options, the better. I think 5G is amazing. Fixed wireless is amazing. Whatever we can do to bring more options to the market, better. Here's the reality of it. Upgrading DSL in legacy markets in rural areas is more expensive than it will return in profit. Just what it is. Wireless 5G will allow them to do the same thing at a fraction of the cost. Fixed wireless, same thing, a fraction of the cost, far better speed. If over the power line allows the same thing, great. We're seeing 5G and fixed wireless rolling out in a growing list of markets next year. Everything from Maine to Mississippi to California and everything in between. We're hearing markets lit up for wireless in rural and not so rural areas. And I think that's a great feature out there that will allow cord cutting to grow because there'll be new internet options. This isn't a switch. According to everybody, by 2020, that's when in 2020 you're really going to see these services take off, roll out in more areas. Verizon, AT&T are rolling out. A bunch of smaller companies are rolling out. Google and more are rolling out some too. So keep an eye out. Cord cutting's changing, internet's changing, and soon you're going to have some true options out there for internet. I think this is the most exciting time in the world out there. And here's one last thing. With all these other internet services just coming online, I'm a lot less concerned about net neutrality. The reality of it is what we really need is competition. 5G, fixed wireless, power lines, fiber to the home, add in DSL and cable internet, there's 6. With 5G fixed wireless, you may find yourself 4 or 5 options of those in a market. When that happens, and we're probably looking 2020 for some areas, 2025 for pretty much most of the country, have new multiple internet options. When that happens, when there's true competition for home internet, that is when things like data caps will go away, prices will become more competitive, etc. You're already seeing that effect in the wireless market with services like Straight Talk and etc. and T-Mobile and Sprint being disruptive there, forcing companies like AT&T, Verizon to compete. Heck, Straight Talk right now for 55, 60, whatever it is, they're even offering unlimited internet, or streaming on your phone and tablet. Competition, I firmly believe, will be the best option out there. And Scott, you're right. More fiber to the home would be great. The problem with fiber to the home, it takes years to wire a whole town. If you think about fiber to the home, you have to physically dig up everybody's yard, run fiber to the home, drill a hole into your home, run the fiber line into your home, set you up. That's time consuming. Setting up a few satellite or towers around the town connected to a fiber line and broadcasting a wireless signal, in a matter of a couple months, you could do what could take a couple years to wire an entire town. It's just the reality of it. I'm very excited about it. Are satellite cable companies worried about cord cutters? Oh, heck yeah. You better believe they are. They will say no, but the reality is, yeah, they're worried. If you have fiber in your home, you are very lucky. Consider yourself a very lucky person. All right, questions, comments, leave them on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on Twitter or anywhere else this got shared, I'm only answering questions that are posted on our YouTube account. So check that out. If you're new, I see a ton of new people here today. Welcome. It's great to see you here. My name is Luke. I own Cord Cutters News LLC. Every day we're posting stories over at cordcuttersnews.com 6-7 times a day. All the best cord cutting news, tips, tricks out there to help you get the most from your cord cutting experience. Check that out. The other thing to remember out there too is if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. We are getting very close to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I hope to hit that this month before the end of the year. Could you help me hit that subscribe button? I would really appreciate it. All right, Goosey says, is there a way I can watch my local channels on the go? Not just the news, but the shows that play. Yes, without paying a monthly fee, that's difficult. There's the Tableau DVR, that'll do it. And you can do it in your home for free, but if you want to stream it to your phone or tablet around the world, there is a fee. It's not that expensive. It's a pretty decent one. You can even buy a lifetime package. So that's maybe my recommendation. Get like a Tableau DVR and pay the lifetime subscription. And there you go. You can stream it the rest of your life. All right. So questions, comments, let me know. Keep them coming. I'm going to do my best to answer them. If I didn't answer your question, ask it again. I'll do my best to answer them this time. I'm pretty interested to see how T-Mobile is going to get into the TV business and shake it up. You know, Tony, so am I. It'll be interesting to see if T-Mobile can succeed where Amazon and Apple failed. All right. Okay, questions, comments, let me know. I live in Iowa, I'm about 60 miles away from Des Moines, and we have a bad reception with indoor antenna. I live in an apartment where my landlord does not allow outdoor antenna satellites on the roof. You know, it is within the landlord's ability to say no on the roof. If you have a porch, though, he can't legally stop you according to the FCC putting it there. If you just want your locals, Iowa, I believe, is getting pretty good. DirecTV Now, Hulu, PlayStation Vue, I would test them out and see if they have your locals you want. If you just want news, I would suggest, like News On, I believe, has several Iowa channels streaming for free for the news. So check that out. There's only one channel streaming, but streaming on what service? Make sure you check all the services. For example, DirecTV Now may only have one, but Hulu may have all. Or YouTube TV, if YouTube TV is in your market, etc. So just because one service doesn't have them all, doesn't mean another. Each one has different locals. Oops, sorry, I just bumped 2 glasses. That was probably really loud, and I apologize. Scared me too. All right, Tablo subscription covers multiple devices and locations. It's true, and they do offer a new lifetime subscription option, which I would recommend. What is Layer TV? Layer TV is basically a cable company. It works a lot like a cable company. They kind of call themselves the next generation cable company aimed at cord cutters. Not very cheap option, much more in the line of a cable company packaging than a Sling TV packaging. So there's a quick summary. All right, keep the questions coming. I'll do my best to answer them. All right, and again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. But we're going to answer your core current questions as best I can, as quickly as I can. So repost them. If I haven't answered them, ask again. I'll do my best to answer them this time. But as always, I really appreciate everybody's support. Again, a little update. See a ton of new people here. Cord Cutters News is moving. Hopefully next week now. We got the Office of Painting. Some furniture should come here this week. Fingers crossed it will be here. Oh, I'm still broadcasting. There we go. And as you see, I'm already boxing up the stuff in this office, getting the review lab ready to move over. And we will be in a new, bigger lab here very soon that will allow us, offices and everything, allow us to do a lot more at Cord Cutters News. So I really appreciate everybody's support. Your support has made it possible for us to grow and hopefully really take to where we are now, and in 2018 be better. Bring in some additional staff, bringing in better facilities, better review lab. Hopefully the staff will free me from all the administrative stuff I have to do, allow me to focus more on bringing you the best cord cutting news out there. Carl, I don't really understand your question about Comcast in 2018. Could you explain that a little bit better? Do you have any Albert says, do you have any idea what might cause one streaming service to buffer heavily on Roku within just a couple of evening hours every night, yet all other services don't buffer during the time? If you're talking about a live TV streaming service, when you're streaming live, there's greater demand than on demand. The reality is that streaming live content takes more demand. So you can't compare Netflix to Sling or Netflix to PlayStation Vue, because it's much harder to stream PlayStation Vue than it is to Netflix. For a variety of reasons I won't really go into at this moment, but that's the short end of the conversation. If you have continued experience at the same time every day, you may want to look, is somebody else using your Wi-Fi pass network? And are they clogging it? Are they also streaming at that same time every day, dragging down your Wi-Fi performance? So keep that in mind. Do you know the distance that 5G will be able to cover? I don't off the top of my head. It's still in testing, so they haven't released any final numbers on that. They have said by the end of 2020 that 50% of Americans will be able to have access to 5G internet. That's the goal. And they seem to be pretty convinced that they can do it. Comcast may be getting Epics. We don't really cover cable TV, so I don't really pay much attention to that. All right, questions, comments, keep them on there. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate the kind words. And keep that up there. Chris, one thing, for 5G and fixed wireless are different things, but fixed wireless, they say in good conditions from each individual tower, fixed wireless internet can give 100 down up to 10 miles away. Conservatively there, in real world testing though, they say maybe 5 miles is more realistic. That's pretty good. So every 5 miles that they put up a tower, then you can, across the town, you can get 100 down on fixed wireless. 5G is said to cover a greater market. So if fixed wireless is doing 5 to 10, maybe 5G can do 10 to 20. We'll wait and see. Mule, I'm not sure why you're having that problem. I would contact Hulu and see what they're saying. Luke, where are you going to do the Q&A? Here or at your new office? You know, that's a good question, Colin. I'm not 100% sure. So this here is staying. That bookshelf is staying. This computer is staying. I actually have a new computer that's going. This desk is actually pretty old. I bought this from a car dealership that was buying new furniture. So this desk, this chair, this is staying here. I may still be able to do the Q&A here. I'm not sure if I'm going to come home, do the Q&A at home, or if I'm going to do it at the office. We'll wait and see. But I will have the physical facilities to do the Q&A and run Core Cutters News both from my home here. So at nights, weekends, holidays, when news breaks, I'll still have this setup to work from my house. But I'll also have an identical, it's actually the same computer, same monitor, same microphone, same camera, will all be at the new office too. So no matter what happens, I tell you, I've had 3 a.m. where I wake up in the middle of the night, I make a post because that's when the embargo ended, and then I come back here or then go back to bed. So I could still do that here. So keep that in mind. Out there, Core Cutters News, I could be here, I could be at the new office. You won't know the difference because it'll look very similar. I was going to buy a new LED TV. Should I wait until 3.0 comes out on all TVs? I really wouldn't worry about it. Some TVs will start getting the 3.0 next year. It'll probably be a year or two until all new TVs have it. But several companies I've talked to are working on little adapter boxes, probably maybe sub $50. We'll wait and see what the pricing is. I wouldn't wait. If you need a new TV, I would buy a new TV because you can always buy an adapter box for the new 3.0 over there TV standard. Hey Luke, I'm new to Core Cutters. Just curious why I have to have a subscription to log on to NBC ABC app. Because they charge money for that. It's not free. Now, NBC, ABC, etc., they typically have some free content there. But my recommendation, if you want that, it's free with an antenna. Buy a DVR, put an antenna up, record the shows you want. And here's the one thing I will tell you though, Mike. If you're new to cord cutting, my number one tip, listen carefully for everybody listen to this. My number one tip, new, old, whatever, stop looking for ABC, NBC, and Fox. Forget those channels that exist. Think, hey, I want to watch Family Guy. Well, Family Guy's on Hulu the next day. So if you have a Hulu subscription, you don't need the Fox app because it's on Hulu. Or it's on an antenna. What you really need to do is start thinking about shows, not channels. Because you may find that the content you want on Netflix, the content you want on Amazon, the content you want on Hulu, etc. That's the new Fox. That's the new ABC. Fox is just the name of a channel that provided the shows you want. You don't want Fox. You want the shows on Fox, etc. So that's my number one tip. Look for shows, not networks. You will find a much better, you'll find cord cutting to be a lot easier. Do you think Nah. I can speak English, I promise. Luke, do you think that the end of net neutrality will affect cord cutters anyway? It could. Here's my thing though. Cord cutting existed before net neutrality. Cord cutting will exist after net neutrality. The truth of it, I'll say this again. You got the doom and gloom sayers that will say everything is awful, the world is coming to an end, nothing will work anymore. There's plenty of sites that will do that. And remember, doom and gloom gets a lot of clicks. If I would write a story that says everything is good, no one will read it. If I would say you could be dead tomorrow, Comcast is going to block your access to YouTube, etc. That gets a lot of clicks. So there's that end. And then there's the end that, hey, net neutrality is going to have no negative impact when it expires, etc. And so that's one end. What's going to happen is probably somewhere in the middle. Could there be some issues? Yes. Is it probably going to be the doom and gloom out there that everybody says it will be when you read Reddit or all kinds of other places? Probably not. As with all things in reality, the truth is somewhere in between. So keep that in mind. As always, remember, take everything with a grain of salt. Robert has a good point there for the person asking why you have to have a subscription to access ABC, NBC apps, etc. You can also use apps like DirecTV Now, Sling TV, PlayStation Vue. Even if they don't have a live feed, they often have on-demand versions of your local channels. So keep that in mind, and I'll do my best to answer your core kind of related questions. Hey, about 10 more minutes. So if you have a question, get it in. Oop, I gotta figure out why it keeps doing that. The new camera says it won't go out like that as often. So keep that in mind. All right. Albert, you said, I don't quite understand. You said Leo Laporte doesn't think, for the most part, anything will change considering net neutrality, and he's a podcaster. Can you explain when you say anything? I love Leo Laporte. He's a great guy, and like I said, what's going to happen in the net neutrality ending, we don't know. There's the doom and gloomers that say the world will end, that tomorrow you will no longer be able to access the internet. There's the people who say nothing will change. I think the truth is somewhere in between. I don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody says. I don't think it's going to be as good as everybody says. I will say this, though. Cord cutting existed before net neutrality. Cord cutting will exist after net neutrality. Leo Laporte's Twit network existed before net neutrality. It will exist after net neutrality. That's my thing. And two things. I've said this from day one. What we need is competition. We need more internet providers in areas. Two, I never thought that the FCC was the best place for net neutrality. I've said this from day one. It should be a federal law, not a regulatory rule, which could change any minute. If Congress would pass a net neutrality law, that is something that's not easily undone. So keep that in mind. Brian says, Luke, I cut the cord. And after listening to what you said and all your opinions, I went with Sling. I couldn't be happier. Brian, I'm happy you found the cord cutting solution that works for you. Remember, with all things, the great thing about cord cutting is what works for you may not work for somebody else. I see this all over. Oh, PlayStation View is the best. DirecTV Now is the best. Sling's the best, etc. The reality is they're all right. What may be right for you is may not be right for everybody else. So keep that in mind out there. So, everything's right for somebody. Unlike cable TV, that tries to tell you, here's one model that's good for everybody. All right, Albert says, Leo Laporte says he doesn't think anything will really be different as it wasn't different before net neutrality. There's a lot of truth in that. I do agree with Leo Laporte that I don't believe that the massive doomsayers, I think they're overplaying it a lot. I think unfortunately the net neutrality argument has devolved from a place where we can have an honest conversation to a point where everybody's just screaming at each other. If you're for repealing net neutrality, you're the devil, and if you're against it, you're evil. I think, as all things, I would encourage people to take a deep breath. The world is not coming to an end. Let's have an honest debate here. And like I said, I really think the real solution here is competition. And if you want net neutrality, it shouldn't be an FCC rule. It should be something done by Congress, which is accountable to we the people by laws, where the FCC is not. So that's my little thing about net neutrality. It will be repealed tomorrow. It is going to be repealed. It just is going to happen. Just take that with a grain of salt. Don't freak out tomorrow. Wake up and remember, net neutrality will be over. Hey, just trying to be honest. All right, so keep questions coming. Let me know if you have anything. We have about 8 more minutes. I'm going to do my best to answer the last group of questions. And keep in mind, I see everybody saying the same thing. Yes, T-Mobile is planning to launch a TV service. They didn't say streaming. They say it may include streaming, but they're calling it a TV service. So keep that in mind. I think everybody, one thing T-Mobile, like neutrality, take the hype down. We know nothing. Apple and Amazon both tried to disrupt the TV markets. Both failed miserably. So keep that in mind. All right, keep up questions, keep up the comments, and as always, thank you to everybody here. I really appreciate everybody's support. We've been doing this Q&As for over a year now. When I started this, we were excited when a few hundred people came. Now every week, thousands of people join us for these weekly Q&As. It's the coolest thing in the world. We're going to grow this. We're going to get a point, 10,000 people every week we can help with these Q&As. But I wanted to just say as we come up, I know next week I will be doing a Q&A next week. I will be doing a Q&A the week between Christmas and New Year's, but I know a lot of people will be on vacation. May not see it. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you to everybody for your support of Court Cars News and our weekly Q&As and our YouTube channel and our social media and everything out there. I really appreciate it. If you had told me we would be as large as we are today, that would be renting 1,000 square feet of office space and hiring people, all with the goal of helping you get the most out of your cord cutting experience, I wouldn't have believed you. And now we're at a point where I really have no other option. We need more space. I get 300 emails a day from people on average, some days more, about cord cutting, and we want to help everybody possible. So we want to go from here to here. And we're going to do that. And it's because of your support that we're able to do that. So I'm very, very grateful for everybody here, everybody who tells your friends and family about Court Cars News, everybody who subscribes. 2017 has been an amazing year. 2018, we're going to work hard to make what we do better to help you get the most out of your cord cutting experience. My goal is to help as many people as possible become Court Cars. And millions of people every month come to CourtCarsNews.com, and I'm entirely grateful for everybody here. So keep that in mind. We will be here next week doing a weekly Q&A. I will be here the week between Christmas and New Year's doing a Q&A. So keep that in mind. I'll be here, but I know many people will be gone with family trips, vacations, holiday parties, so I fully understand. But, for everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, everything I may have missed in that. I wish you all the best. So, last few questions here. Let's get into this. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Albert. Thank you, everybody. How will the repeal of net neutrality affect the internet? Donna, net neutrality is a little over 2 years old. The internet survived before net neutrality. The internet will survive after net neutrality. So, as always, let me say two things real quick, just about the general state of the world. If I would write a news headline that says, good news, net neutrality won't affect anything, no one would read it. But if I write a news article that says, tomorrow, net neutrality ends and your life will end. Your children will live miserable, horrible lives. Your dog will never be the same because net neutrality will end. Doom and gloom is around the corner. The world will end. A meteor will strike the earth and everybody will die. I could go on and on, but you get the idea. You've seen articles like this. Guess what? The reality is a ton of clicks happen when it's doom and gloom. When I write a negative story, I don't try to do it, but when the story is negative, it gets a lot more readership than when I write a positive story. Hey, new Apple TV is amazing. Doesn't get as much attention as the Apple TV sucks, and I'll tell you why. It's just the reality. So when you read all these doom and gloom stories, take it all with a grain of salt. Remember, people are trying to make money, and it's a good way to make money. Now, is everything hunky-dory? No. Is everything doom and gloom? No. As always, the truth is somewhere in the middle. So keep that in mind. Michael, I mean, maybe you're right, but guess what? Before net neutrality, they didn't do that. After net neutrality, they may not. I think the reality, though, is with more competition coming out next year, I think competition is the answer to all of our concerns. I just do. And as I always say, if you want net neutrality, this is what you should do. Write your congressman, write your senators, your congressmen, all of them. Do it old-fashioned way, pen and paper, send it to them. Pick up the phone, call them. Be respectful. Don't be rude. Be respectful. Just say, hey, I'm calling. I would like my senator. I live in your district. I'm concerned about net neutrality. I would like a law to be passed. This is really something Congress should address, not something that should be done by the FCC. I recommend not emailing because emails are easy to disregard. Sending an old-fashioned physical letter in and making a phone call are much less likely to be ignored, basically. So keep that in mind. Do I have a schedule for my updates and reviews? Oh, two things. We have 2 scheduled videos every week. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, I'm answering core cutting questions for about an hour. Every Friday morning, I post a week in review. Now, this isn't all the email out there all the stories out there that I cover. This is the stories every Friday I think are the most important from the previous week that I think will be most impactful going forward in the world of cord cutting, and they're the ones that I want to give my personal opinion to. We also offer daily and weekly newsletters, cordcardsnews.com. I post daily 6 to 7 times a day on average. I also spam in random videos here sporadically throughout the week. And then every Wednesday night, we do this Q&A. Every Friday morning, I do a recap show, which was pre-recorded. So yeah, keep that in mind. I will do my best to answer your cord cutting related questions every week. But we're going to wrap this up and call it a day here. I really appreciate it. A few things. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. I really appreciate the likes. If you're new here, you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, we are 500 subscribers away from 20,000. I like to try to hit 20,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of the month. So we can say by the end of 2017, we hit 20,000. Really appreciate if you hit that subscribe. I would greatly appreciate the support there. And follow us. Hit that subscribe button. I cannot be eternally grateful for everybody for your support. As always, if you're leaving, I will be here next week. I will be here the week between Christmas and New Year's. If you're gone, by the time you come back, we'll be in the new Cord Cutters News offices. So take care. Thank you. I hope you all have a great Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, whatever you may celebrate. I'm wishing you all the best in the new year. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week.